What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my predictions for the next episode of Fargo, which will be Season 3, Episode 8, titled Who Rules the Land of Denial? Alright, so Season 3, Episode 8, Who Rules the Land of Denial? This looks like it's going to be another good one. Like, they're all good. Every episode this season has been fantastic, but as I said in my review for the last one, every episode seems to be getting better and better, and this one looks like it's going to top the last one. It's incredible. Oh man, Noah Hawley, that's the showrunner, is the man. I don't talk about him enough, but I really should start talking about Noah Hawley a little more. I got to make it a point to do that. All right, let's get into it. Nikki struggles to survive. Emmett gets spooked, and Cy joins Varga for tea. Now, in case this is your first time watching a prediction video, or I just haven't said it in a while, whatever. I get my predictions from the synopsis, from the trailer, which Fargo usually only puts out one. If a show that I do puts out more than one, then it will be, the combination. But Fargo only puts out one. So yeah, it'll be the combination of that and, just how I make sense of the habits of the show. Every show has different habits, but if you really pay attention, just like if you pay attention to like a certain director from movies, style, or writers, you can kind of start to see a pattern or formula, if you will, which isn't always easy to figure out, but it usually can be done. So that's how I make my predictions. All right. So let's. So Nikki struggles to survive. Let's get that one out of the way. That's probably going to be the most exciting part of the episode, and I don't know if it's going to be a through line throughout the whole thing, or if we're going to get just one really good scene. I would like it to be a through line. I would like it to be, a bunch of, like, one big scene, but broken up so that we get it in pieces throughout the episode. I always like that because you're engaged in the show, but you're still in suspense from the scene before, So I don't know. We'll see how they handle it. But we left Nikki in the bus accident that Yuri caused. She's sitting next to Wrench, the hearing impaired guy from season 1, and he's a kid in season 2, but he's not a major character. So I don't know if they just put him in there so they can finally kill the character off, and he died in the accident. I would hope and like to believe that he's gonna help Nikki escape. He seemed like a fairly good guy when it came to as far as bad guys go, but we didn't really spend a lot of personal time with him, Every time we saw him, he was kind of trying to handle business. So, who knows? Maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, but, right? Is that right? Yeah, mountain out of a molehill. So, but I really, really hope that he gets involved in the rest of the season. That will be really, really fun, at least for me, and I'm sure a lot of you hardcore Fargo fans out there, Sound off down below on that one, definitely. All right, so I do think Nikki's going to get away. I originally thought that Ray was going to be like our kind of hero, good guy to make it through it all, or at least make it to the end before something terrible and unforeseen happens. But now I'm starting to think that might be Nikki or Emmett, but I'm leaning more towards Nikki at this point. I was really suspicious of her in the beginning, and her character's really grown on me, and I trust her now. Now, maybe that's my mistake. Excuse me. Just like it was Ray's mistake, if she's conniving. But I'm really starting to think she's genuine. And it's hard because Ray looked the way he looked, you know what I mean? But not everybody's into looks. So, I don't know, man. She grew on me. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So I do think she's going to survive this episode, Now, Yuri is the one coming in to get her. So I think Yuri's fate is going to be a bad one. Now, do I think he's going to die in this scene? Not necessarily, because remember, this is Fargo. Look what happened to Steve Buscemi in the movies when he gets like half his face blown off, but he still goes on, for a little bit. So maybe something like that will happen where he'll get really, really badly injured, but he'll still play a role. But we don't really need Yuri with, we still got Mimo, we still got Varga. So, but I like Yuri. He's my second favorite under Varga, So maybe it'll be time for him to go. Look, the season is winding down. We have this episode I'm talking about, 8. Then we have 9. And then we have 10. And then that's it. We're done for season 3. And Fargo takes their time putting out the next season. So we're going to be without Fargo for a while, But my point is that it's winding down to the end. And everybody does not make it out alive. Everybody's not going to die either. But Fargo is not the type of universe where there's a happy ending for everyone. So my point is I think Nikki will survive this episode at the very least. Let's move on. Emmett gets spooked. Now, if you look at the trailer, he's freaking out, looking all over his office, and he sees the stamp everywhere. The stamp that Ray was after, and the stamp didn't kill Ray, but the stamp kind of killed Ray. Not only his coveting of it, but the way he handled it when Emmett was trying to give it to him. It was all because of the stamp, you know what I mean? And then finally, in a huge sense of irony, what kills him? The glass case that held the stamp. So that's pretty crazy when you really think about it. So Emmett seems to be feeling the guilt of this, obviously, because he was always a good guy, and he says it to Ray before Ray dies. He says, I'm a fair guy. People like me. And Ray kind of doesn't believe him, or at least doesn't want to admit that, because he's painted Emmett as this villain, as this bad guy in his life, this evil figure in his life. I think that Ray was blinding himself to the fact that Emmett not only was his brother and he loved him, but was also actually a good person. Who maybe did something that Ray didn't feel was in his best interest, right? So Emmett's when it says he's getting spooked, I think it's more like his guilt and his feelings about what happened with Ray are growing, and it's scaring him to the point where he's getting to be like the dude from American Psycho, Patrick, what is it? Bateman. Patrick Bateman, right? So it's like him, where he starts feeling all these. Now, he doesn't necessarily feel guilt, but he feels like the police are on to him, and he gets like really nervous and all that. So that's where I see them going with Emmett. He's just gonna get really, really shaky and nervous, and he's gonna scare himself, if that makes any sense. But there's always that threat of Varga and Mimo and Yuri. Now, this brings me to the next one. So now we have Sai joins Varga for tea. So now Sai seems to go to Emmett's house, probably to speak to Emmett, and Mimo, we see Mimo shutting the door. So we don't know if he lets him in. I would assume he lets him in first, because he's going to let him in, and that's where he's going to have tea, I'm guessing. But it's Mimo is in there, and Varga we've already seen in the house the last 2 episodes. So Varga seems to be taking over Emmett's life. Like, Varga is taking over the business. He's moved into his house. He got rid of his family, moved into his house. Well, he didn't get rid of his family. Ray got rid of the family. So I can't give Varga credit for that one. But he's moving into his house now, and I don't know. It's crazy. It's like more than just corporate takeover. This is like your life takeover, So I don't know if Emmett is even going to be in the house when Sai gets there. I don't know. But Michael Stuhlbarg is always so good as Sai, and David Thewlis is always so good as Varga. So the two of them together always make a great scene. Not that everybody's not fantastic on the show. So they're going to have tea, and I'm going to assume that Varga is going to humiliate Sai again or do something disgusting. We see Sai throwing up later. That could just be the nerves, or it could be to something that just happened earlier or the night before that was disgusting that now is bothering him. Most likely, the former on that one. So, uh, Vargas seems to like to humiliate Sai because Sai was Emmett's right hand man. He was his go get shit done guy. He was, kind of, I don't want to say a tough guy, but compared to Emmett, he was the tough guy. If there was any problems, Sai was the fixer. He's the Ray Donovan, if you will, right? If you ever haven't seen that show, check that one out. It's really good. So I think Varga tries to make it a point at every chance he can. He tries to make it a point to let Sai know you're not a tough guy, you're a shit fixer, and this is what a real bad guy looks like. This is what a real tough guy looks like. And, if you watch the whole season, the way he speaks to Sai is more demeaning than anybody else. Even in his little catchphrases, like, the turds tend to float at the shallow end or whatever. Like, he doesn't say those types of things to Emmett. Like, or not in the same fashion anyway. So, and then, putting his dick in the cup and all that. Absolutely insane. But he makes it a point to knock Sai down as much as possible. Why he doesn't just take Sai out, I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to not be messy with it. Maybe he needs Sai for something. I don't really know about that. But I don't think this tea is going to go well. Now, does that mean I think Sai is going to die? Absolutely not. At least not at the tea party, right? But I don't think it's going to be a pleasing experience for Sai, so to speak. And what else did we have? Any threads hanging? I covered Yuri. Mimo is with Varga. Yeah, that's it. Hopefully. Oh, Gloria isn't mentioned in here at all, or the other police officer. I imagine that they could leave them out. They do that all the time, leave certain characters out in Fargo. So if we do see Gloria, and she's not in the trailer at all, it'll be something brief. But, she's probably at home with her son enjoying Christmas, and that may not be something that, is worth showing us. You know what I mean? Unless she finds out about the accident, and she's the one that saves Nikki, shows up at the scene of the accident and ends up putting a bullet in Yuri. Maybe, I don't know. But it should be exciting in any event. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so sound off down below. Let me know what you think about my predictions for the next episode of Fargo, Season 3, Episode 8. Or let me know what your predictions are. Or let me know if you don't like my predictions at all. Whatever. Just sound off. Don't forget to like, share if you like to comment. Yep, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Always appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.